guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing another movie review. This movie is a horror film from the United States, English language, released in the year 2019, directed by Travis Stevens, and this film is called Girl on the Third Floor. So Girl on the Third Floor is about this married couple that recently purchased this house. The house has a bit of a troubled history. The neighbours don't really want to live there, and so they say to the man who actually travelled to the house before his wife does, because he wants to do it up a little bit, they say, look, you're brave to live here, but if that's what you want, that's what you want. And so the further he starts to renovate things, the further he discovers the truth behind this house, and that the hauntings that this house is said to have may in fact be a lot more real than this guy first anticipated. So whether or not the stories surrounding this house are true, and in fact this guy is in danger, is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Girl on the Third Floor. This is a movie I didn't really expect much from, and it's a movie that I didn't really get much from. Now I will say that it's not a complete disaster, it's not a horrible film, but it's just a movie that's incredibly disposable. It's an incredibly forgettable experience, because it's an experience that you've seen time and time again. Now to start off with, this is a movie that I was a little bit umming and ahhing about whether or not I wanted to see it. Now CM Punk is the draw card to this film. Now CM Punk, I'm not a fan of wrestling, but whenever you get a film that's banking on itself for an incentive for people to watch it based on the fact that it's a wrestler, that does bring up a lot of red flags. A lot of warning signs are actually there that it's not really going to be a very good film. Is that why are you getting wrestlers in order to try and sell your film? And ultimately CM Punk is a very big name as far as wrestling is concerned, so wrestling fans are going to want to go and see it. But whether or not standard sort of film fans are going to want to see it because of that remains to be seen. So on one hand I can understand it's a marketing ploy, but on the other hand I think it's definitely a ploy that's going to have a negative effect, is that a lot of people aren't going to watch this film based on the fact that there is a superstar wrestler who is in the main role, and so that does bring a lot of skepticism from a lot of people. But I will say that CM Punk was not a disaster. That was the most surprising element of the film, is that alright, his character isn't very memorable, he's not very likeable, but he does a decent job, and so I never thought as though alright, this is unwatchable. And so the whole film has that watchability, but unfortunately the whole film, it doesn't have enough creativity to actually make it a movie that's going to be terribly memorable. So cinematography, it was absolutely fantastic. Now I've heard that this is the director's debut film, and that's absolutely amazing, is because it looks fantastic. I thought it really did draw the audience in with its absorbing atmosphere. I thought there were some set pieces as far as horror is concerned that were very well done, and it indicates that this director has a very bright future. But on the other hand, although there was some very good set pieces, the overall experience is something that you've seen before as far as haunted house films are concerned. And so you go through the formula, you go through the horror tropes where a man goes into the house, he starts to work on it, very strange things start to happen. And yes, there are some creative ways where these set pieces take place, but as I said, ultimately you know exactly what's going to happen. You know what's in store for these characters, is because it is a cheat sheet. Now what I mean by that, I said in other reviews, that cheat sheet is a movie that allows you to see into the future. You know what's around the corner, you know what's going to happen, and so it does eliminate a lot of the suspense. But having said that, there are some moments where the director, the way he shoots a certain scene, although you know the ultimate outcome, actually getting to that outcome can be a little bit of fun. And so that's what I liked about the film, is although it isn't really treading new territory, there are some moments and some little set pieces that I thought were actually quite neat. And so that did provide a little bit of fun, a little bit of entertainment, and so that's the reason why I would say go out there and see the film if you're bored. You go out and see the movie on a Friday night if you want to leave your brain at the door. You want a film that's not going to really scare you that much. It's not really going to disturb you, but ultimately it's a film that you can watch. It is a watchable experience, but unfortunately, because it is a generic sort of a haunted house sort of movie, I couldn't help but feel as though, alright, a lot of the suspense is eliminated because it does become predictable, and unfortunately predictability creates a safety net, and that safety net basically dissolves a lot of the fear factor. And so, as I said, there are some moments that are fairly well done. It is an indication that this director is very capable, and I thought CM Punk's performance, although it wasn't a likeable character, although I couldn't invest any time in any of these characters, I still thought it was watchable. It was a movie that I didn't really want to turn off, but unfortunately it's a movie that I'm not really going to remember, and I'm not really excited about. And I really, as I said, I expected the experience that I got to some degree, but I was just hoping that maybe it'd be a little bit different, but unfortunately it does stay within the generic confines, which is ultimately the film's biggest problem. But pushing that aside, it's very well made. It is capable as far as some of the set pieces are concerned, so if it sounds like your kind of thing, go out there and see it. You could do a lot worse. I'm going to give Girl on the Third Floor 2.5 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.